Hey, my awesome second grade. Today for math, we are going to start looking at two different times during the day, AM and PM. I'm sure that you've heard these terms used before, but we're going to be reviewing them and we're going to be showing how we can use them when we are writing time. So, first off, let's start with a little bit of vocab that I put down here on my paper. AM is any time between midnight to noon during the day. And PM is anything noon to midnight. I've come up with a great way to remember these times. So right after our definition, I'm going to go ahead and put down the way that really helps to remember this. So AM is after midnight. Starts with A and M. After midnight. And PM is past midday. Midday is just another word for noontime. So anything PM is past midday. PM, after midnight, AM. That's a good way to help us remember what these times during the day are. So let's go through the clock and we'll see what a normal day would look like on here on the clock, and then we'll write the time on my whiteboard as well. I'll scoot this back. There we go. So looking at the time right now, we can see that the minute hand is pointing all the way to the top, and it's actually hiding the hour hand as well. So looking under it, we can scoot it forward. Looks like our hour hand is pointing up to the 12. It looks like it's at the o'clock for the minutes. So we are at 12 o'clock. But that could be two different times during the day, right? That could be midnight, or it could be noontime. It all depends on what you say after it that makes the biggest difference. So let's write down our time, 12 o'clock. And for the sake of this lesson, we're starting at midnight. So 12 o'clock. That would be this time right here, midnight to noontime. That's when we're starting. So it's actually 12 o'clock AM. That's when we're starting. AM. That's the very beginning of the AMs. It's right at midnight. So let's look at our clock now. So this would typically be a time when we are all sleeping, right? So let's go around the clock. Ooh, wrong way. There we go. This would be, sorry, wrong side. 1 o'clock AM, right? Still sleeping during the night. 2 o'clock AM. 3 o'clock AM. We're still probably sleeping, right? 4 o'clock AM. 5 o'clock AM. This is typically the time that I wake up in the morning, right at 5 o'clock in the morning, AM. And I know that a lot of us probably wake up closer to this time right about now while we're doing remote learning, right? And this would be 6 o'clock, right on the dot, right? AM. So that's our next time that we're stopping at. So it's no longer 12 o'clock, which was midnight. We are now at 6 o'clock AM. And this is generally the time when we're waking up, we're getting breakfast, we're getting ready for the day, right? And let's keep going through our day. 7 o'clock. 8 o'clock. Typically the time when we're all at school. We're about to do our morning meeting in the classroom. Announcements come on the intercom. 9 o'clock AM. This is the time when we do our morning meetings now through Zoom. So that's our next time that we're going to write. All right. 9 o'clock AM. And notice that we have not switched yet. We have not gone to PM yet. Let's keep going through our clock and we'll see if we can reach the PM. All right. We're at 10 o'clock. 11 o'clock. Right there, 11 o'clock, and right down here, look at the time. We're still on the 11th hour. We haven't passed it yet. We're down here. We can count our minutes out starting at the top. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. We're at 11:30 a.m. Let's go ahead and write that down. So this is 11:30 a.m. All right, let's get a little bit closer to noontime now because we're almost there. We have it up here. It's now 11:45 a.m. 11:50 a.m. 11:55 a.m. And then when we get all the way back up to the top, we're at 12 o'clock again. But this isn't 12 o'clock a.m. We've learned that 12 o'clock a.m. is midnight. And we know any time between midnight to noontime, that's a.m. But when we hit noontime, now we're into our p.m.s, or our past midday, which is right at noontime. So let's write our new time down. So we're at 12 o'clock p.m., which is another way to say noon, right? Or midday. That is our new time right now. Typically during this time, this is the afternoon. We're thinking about having lunch, right? This is when the school day is just beginning to wrap up. So we go forward in time, 1 o'clock p.m., 2 o'clock p.m., 2:30 p.m. is typically the time when we would be ending school if we were at the school building. So let's go ahead and write that time down. This would be the time, oh, not 2 o'clock, 2:30 p.m. This would be the time when we are wrapping up the day and you guys are getting ready to go home from school. Now, writing this p.m. is a big deal because if you get it wrong, if you're saying that it is 2:30 a.m., what would you be doing at 2:30 a.m.? You would not be leaving school, trust me. You're right, you would still be in your bed sleeping. Because remember, a.m. is anytime after midnight, midnight to noontime. So this is very early in the morning. It's still very dark out and you are sleeping. But when you change it to p.m., it's the total opposite. It's 12 hours later. It's really in the afternoon. Afternoon. So, all right, let's go over a couple of practice problems from our book. And we're going to be on pages 142 to 143 in book 2B. So you can go ahead, pause the video, get this out if you'd like to follow along. All right. Get my piece of paper out of the way. There we go. All right. We're looking at these two pictures right here. And we need to write AM or PM. It's kind of like making an inference. We're looking at the picture to figure out what's going on. And we can read, and that can help us kind of figure out if it's AM or PM as well. It is 4 hours after midnight. The time is 4 o'clock blank. And we have learned that anytime after midnight, that is AM. So for that problem, we'd be writing AM down for the answer. Number 2, it is 2 hours after noon. The time is 2 o'clock. And we've learned that noontime can look like this, right? And we're saying it is afternoon. Okay, so that means that we're 2 hours in the future. Now we're at this time. Would that be AM, after midnight to noon? Or would it be PM, which is noontime to midnight? I think you're right. I think it would be the PM one. Hopefully Elfo's not distracting you in the background. For this one, we would write 2 o'clock PM because it's in the afternoon. It is past midday. Miss Phillips goes to work in the morning. She leaves home at 8 o'clock. Think about it. This would probably be, like it says here in the problem, morning. It would be 8 o'clock AM. Because that's any time from after midnight to noontime. So this would be somewhere in the middle, 8 o'clock. Miss Phillips goes home after work in the evening. She goes home at 5 o'clock. And we can use that word right here, evening, as a good clue. Then it might be somewhere, it's at night, right? Evening is night. So we could say that is PM, past midday. We're in the PM, going up to midnight. So what you're going to be working on today are a lot of problems like this. You need to use your good second grade reading skills and to make inferences here, and you can even look at the pictures to help you figure out if it's going to be an AM or if it's going to be a PM. So today, flip the page. You're going to be working on pages 144 and 145. Right here. And I'm going to read through the questions quickly so that you can understand what's going on in these. It says, read and write the time shown on each clock. Use AM or PM to show time of the day. Explain your answers. All right. Jason wakes up at, you're going to write the time, and then AM or PM. Allison eats a snack at, you're going to write the time, and then AM or PM. Number 6, the July 4th celebration ended at, there's a time right here, and then AM or PM. Number 7, the lights in the park go on at blank. Look at the time. Write the time and then write AM or PM after it. Number 8, in summer, the sun usually comes up at, there's the time right there in a picture. Going to write the time and then AM or PM. And number 9, this father walks his baby every morning at, going to write the time and then AM or PM. And then bonus, I would like you to try this out. So for bonus, you're going to be using all of the, let me see if I can get, there we go. You're going to be using all of the answers from these 2 pages, and you need to arrange them in order from the beginning of the day to later in the day. So you're starting with your earliest time, and you're working your way all the way up to the latest time. Earliest times are probably in the AM. Latest times are probably in the PM. A little hint there for you. But number 10 is a bonus. Try it out if you'd like to. I'd really like everyone to try it. So, working with AM and PM can be a little bit confusing, but if you use your good inference skills and figure out what's going on, it'll be very easy. All right. If you have any questions, feel free to leave me a comment, and I'll be working with you guys in small groups on this as well. All right. Good luck, everybody.